Welcome back, everybody, to the 24th episode of the 8 Cube Circus. We hope you all had a nice holidays, and this is our holiday special releasing in mid January for some reason. Today, we're going to be discussing emoting with a special guest. First up, how are we doing, Xenaid?
Man, I hate it here. I quit. I came back. It's been a rough roller coaster of a ride for me and my favorite cards. There's a sick Sauron emote. I own it. It looks great. I have Gold Prism with Wakandan Tech. But other than that, I'm struggling.
And make sure to join up the Discord for some coaching sessions and stream and YouTube alerts for both when Denish and Xenaid stream and for my YouTube videos. We are also going to be hosting a tournament. More information on that will be announced on Friday. The prize for that will be a season pass, as well as if you're listening to this right now, there is another season pass giveaway I have going on in a collaboration with the good folks over at Snap.fan on my latest series 4 tier list video. If you want to go check that out to get as many chances as you can to get the new busted season pass card to Lao. And now I'm gonna let Denish take it away.
Right, so I've been planning this emoting episode for quite a while now, and I was trying to find a guest for it. I was thinking maybe KM, maybe Safety Blade, but then I realized why not invite the emote expert himself, Nick Foley and Dynamite. For legal reasons, this is not the real Nick Foley and Dynamite. The real Nick Foley and Dynamite is far too cool for us and would never come on our podcast. Nick Foley, take the floor.
Hey, thank you for having me. If you've ever played against me, I'm named Nick Foley and Dynamite. You'll know why I'm on the emoting episode. I love it. I think it's an art. I think it's a craft. And I think I know maybe more than anyone else in this game about emoting.
Right. Nick Folian is infamous on the North American ladder for being the emoting menace. He has recently done really well on ladder, actually. I believe you were top 2 for a while.
I was, yeah.
And yeah, that's great, man. I'm happy for you. This is it's going to be a bit of a long one, so let's get started. We're going to start with emote court. I want to know if you guys think these emotes are more toxic or more wholesome, and we'll have to collectively come to a conclusion. I am willing to start with the symbiote Spider-Man one, but I have a bit of a controversial take. So I will say I'd love to push to Smlz first to see what he thinks. Smlz, what do you think about symbiote Spider-Man? Toxic or wholesome?
It's nothing.
Nothing.
Can you elaborate? It is a gust in the wind.
So that must mean it's wholesome, because if it was toxic, it wouldn't be nothing.
Well, it doesn't make me smile. It doesn't make me mad. It's just like, why did you take the effort to press that button?
I don't think I can understand the implement. How is it nothing? You feel nothing?
Nothing.
Really?
No, I don't. No. When my opponent puts it to that, I'm like, what?
No, this is a toxic. This is a guaranteed toxic. This is of the bro emote variety. I believe. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
For anyone who doesn't know, Nick Foley and Dynamite has a very in-depth emote rating system.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain it.
All right. So we've got 5 Bs of emotes. We've got believe types. Those are the ones where you're throwing dice, the Ultron calculating, stuff like that. We got our brags. That's the majority. That's when you're trying to seem strong to your opponent. We got bruz, which are reaction types. That's where you're bored or that's where you're surprised. Or bros, which are, you think of your common fist bumps. Things that are trying to be nice. And finally, we got the bitch ones. That's the ones a lot of people say is Miss Marvel. That's the one that actually is Agatha. And a lot more. Those are the ones that people like the least. But
so you find him to be a bro emote?
He seems to be. He's between bro and brag. You could put him in either category, and I'd be fine. If he's a brag, he's a goofy brag, which is terrible. And if he's a bro, he's not the goofiest bro, which also sucks. I don't think of this as a good emote, and I don't even think it pushes your opponent in any direction.
No. All right, Xenaid, I'm curious if you think this is more of a bro or a brag, the symbiote Spider-Man.
Bro, this is an amazing emote. Like, first of all, how did we end up with two nothings on the first emote that we have?
Not a nothing.
Like,
I've got a toxic.
for me,
Nothing.
this is very happy. It's just like you finally got the playoff. Like, you know what? Like, you need to feel good about yourself, so you put this up because you finally did the thing your deck wants to do for the first time in forever.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. This emote isn't for you. This emote's for me. This is a woo, and I that's the best emote you can get. I think we outruled you guys because Smlz landed in the middle, so we're gonna go wholesome on the woo
This is a
emote.
yippee emote. Like, you shouldn't be offended by it. Like,
Yeah, I
good
don't know how
days.
people.
Good
It's
days.
some people just can't have fun. I guess I don't know. We'll move on. Now we've got the whole gang laughing emote. I don't even own this one, so I'll let Smlz take the floor.
I don't own this one either, but this is a wholesome emote. You put this one up when you see one of your buddies on ladder. So I know a couple people, mainly Jimmy Dickens, uses this one when I queue him, and it's always a good time.
Yeah, I fully agree. Definitely a bro. This is, when I was talking about it, not a goofy enough bro. This is the goofy one. This is great.
I'm gonna be a little bit of a contrarian here. I think because I don't own the emote, I feel a little bit left out, and I have a violent reaction to this emote. I can't stand it. This is one of the most toxic garbage emotes in the game. Why are they laughing at me? Why is the whole gang here? You're supposed to have one character in an emote. What are we doing? I can't stand this emote. It is incredibly toxic.
I feel like this is a jolly emote. Like, I think you're outvoted here, Denish.
Ugh. But they're laughing at you, not with
Yeah,
you.
they're laughing at
They're
you for not being
laughing-
able to afford it.
Yeah, they laugh with you if you actually got it.
I'm close
I
to
guess I
getting
got
it.
outvoted.
And it's also got an album with Mr. Negative, so you already know I have that variant.
All right, we can move on. We've got the Erisham emote. This one came from a season
Toxic.
pass.
Toxic.
Why do you think it's
This okay, number one, Erisham is toxic. Number two, just this like the oh yeah, I just beat you and what about that? Toxic.
Oh.
Terrible
This
emote.
is-
Terrible emote.
This is Airsham Approves. That's the title, and that's what it's going by. The only reason you don't like it is because you don't like Airsham, because people hate it for some reason. This
Julian
is...
Dynamite. Are
Yeah.
you an Erisham fan?
I mean, I'm not an Airsham fan. It is a fun deck. It is a skillful deck. You have to play like you played no other deck ever.
Incredible.
It's
Well,
a good
you
emote.
can't talk about skillful decks. I saw you on Cerebro too.
Cerebro's a skillful deck. I mean, there's no way around it. Cerebro is a skillful deck. Also, Linley Cerebro is actually kind of real. Just don't have your opponent move it.
What, as a 2-power card? I mean,
Yes.
it's quite the cook.
It's a second Sinister, and Sinister's good in Cerebro too.
All right, man. You do you. I am of the opinion that Erisham Approve is fine. I think that if it's toxic, it's only toxic against Erisham players. I think he's just a chill guy. I don't know. I don't see Erisham. I see a brother in this emote.
Yeah.
What do you think,
Yeah,
Sam?
it's like a gentle hold up. Like, he's like, It's not like, I feel like you gotta, why are you taking it personally,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got warmth in his eyes, not just from what I assume is an eternal furnace inside of his head.
Yeah, he looks like someone I would hang out. I'd chill with this specific version of Erisham. He's got a finger up. He's chilling. He's approving. I am pro Erisham, and I believe everyone except Smlz, so he's
Yeah.
pretty wholesome. All right, we can move on to the fist bump. This one I think is going to be pretty unanimous. I don't think anyone's going to disagree on wholesome.
Wholesome.
Oh no, this is toxic. Especially as you get later on in ranks, this is as bad as the bitch type emotes.
Right, and you're saying later on in ranks, as in higher, like higher ranked.
Yeah, higher elo. If you're like a top 10 player, which you're like top 50. You're pretty good. You should find this bad. It has outgone all of its benefits. It was nice at the beginning, but now they're just better ways, with the Sinister Squad to have a good emote.
Okay. Well, Nick Folian, I not to call myself an expert here, but I am in that top 10, and I think it's really wholesome. It's just like a good game. You hit them with that, especially if you win after turn 6. I can see you thinking it's toxic, but unless you like hit a 1 in 12 against me, which like whatever, I'm gonna be pissed anyways. I think this is a pretty wholesome emote.
So you emote, let's say, any streamer ever. You emote KM. You
Yeah,
emote
I just emoted Tucker. I got ego and I hit GG against him.
I'm gonna be honest. That's brought you down in his opinion. I can tell you for sure.
I don't think it did. We had a great game.
I don't know. I don't see how fist bump can be toxic. I'm gonna be honest, Nick Folian. I would never like. We can move on to the next one and then almost argue them together because we're gonna get into Miss Marvel thumbs up. But I can't see a universe where in real life you fist bump someone and it's not wholesome. Like there's a lot of other expressions you can make with your hands that are like toxic, but fist bump, I don't think that's physically possible. I don't think you can toxically fist bump somebody. Is that something you can do in real life?
I mean, that's called punching. But the issue is how unanimously good this is. It's going to be the first one to be destroyed in the public image, and it has been.
Right, but I feel like it's almost been given alternatives now with the zombified version and the. I almost wonder if the influence has been spread out so widely that it's looped back around.
No, that made it worse. It made it worse with the advent of those.
All right. Nick Folian finds the fist bump toxic. That's fine. We can move on to the next one. We've got Miss Marvel thumbs up. I know there's a lot of heavy feelings about this one. Zen, do you want to start?
I don't care. I usually think if you're using it, you're insecure. But you gotta understand, like, I get Miss Marvel probably the most out of like any player because I play all my games for 8. So I feel like when someone like Miss Marvel's me because they're like, you snap? It's always like Miss Marvel snap, Miss Marvel snap. It's just like, bro, I'm like watching chess on my screen. Like, I enjoy losing 8s.
So is it almost like a wholesome or a toxic?
For me, it's like you're trying to be toxic, but I could not care less.
All right. So you could argue it's a nothing then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel any way towards it. I feel bad, honestly, man. It's just like, I feel like if any of you play me online, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm losing 8 all the time. I actually take a mental note not to lose 8 to any player that Miss Marvel me and snaps me again. And it's just like, you're just losing out on potential cubes in the future.
I mean,
that's probably a good mindset. I am not a fan of this emote. I don't get ticked off by very many things, but I don't know what it is about this freaking emote. There's a lot of emotes in the game that they've designed almost seemingly intentionally to be like piece of garbage toxic. This is definitely one of them. I don't know if it's the wink or the grin or just the thumb. It's something about it. If someone did this to me in real life, I punch them. That's all I'm saying.
That the most unanimous thank you expression, you would punch someone.
No, it's toxic. Thank you is a fist bump. It's like 2 people. This is one side. You're going like, sucks to suck. I just got this 8 cuber off you. That's what's going on.
The reason when you use Miss Marvel, if you use it correctly, this is saying I called you out. You were doing something stupid, and I beat you with that. In any case where Miss Marvel is used correctly, the opponent is the bad person. You are good when you're using Miss Marvel.
I don't think that's necessarily
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
You can use it wrong. You can also use fist bump when you're trying to do a brag emote. Like, you can use any emote incorrectly, but if you use it correctly, Miss Marvel is good.
I don't think I'm understanding what an incorrect usage would be. We can move on pretty quickly after, but can you go into a little bit of detail of what a wrong usage of Miss Marvel would look like?
So you use emotes in any situation. There's a situational emote that is best to use that will influence your opponent in the best way possible. People tend to use Miss Marvel incorrectly as a sort of I won, but they don't know why they won. It's very, if anyone plays Melee, it's like Silver 2 Falco level. If you are correctly emoting as Miss Marvel, you know why you won, you know what you stopped, and you are saying, nice try, bud, but I beat you.
I almost wonder if the better analogy to Melee is the down taunt down smash on the Falco, but we don't need to. Is that in Melee? Hands off?
I don't know if
Huh.
down taunts are in Melee. They might only have like
They
side
might not
taunts.
be. Yeah. Either way, we can move
Anyway,
on.
yeah.
I think generally it's toxic, but I also think there's a surprising amount of people that actually do not find this emote toxic, which is more than one, which impresses me. I can see how it's almost like a which B would you assign it, Nick Folian?
This most people would assign it a bitch. I accept that people think that. This is a brag. This is an
Right.
I won because I'm smarter.
Sure. I don't know. I just feel like you're using it differently than everyone else.
I'm using
But
it
we've got a
correctly.
tight schedule here. There's a lot
Right.
of emotes to get to. So we can move on. We're going to move on to a section called How Would You Emote? So let's say, hypothetically, your opponent snaps you turn one. I want to go to Nick Folian first. Tell me how you respond to this turn one snap.
All right. So this is dependent on a couple things. Are you planning on snapping? If not, do you have a good enough hand that you think you can still beat them? If you do have a good enough hand, then you want to act surprised. You want to act shocked. I love the Goblin emote for this one. It's one of the Hall of Famers for sure. If you are losing, you want to act stronger. You want to pretend you're bored. Something like a storm could help. Something like the Tony Stark, like the Iron Man eye roll. If you've ever seen that one, it's not often used because the album for it sucks, but those are the emotes that you're going to want to use if you are not snapping. If you're resnapping, then you are kind of playing your hand. You're going to want something, a brag emote, typically, maybe a Galactus okay, the Cosmo sunglasses, stuff like that.
Fascinating. I think I'm a little bit more conservative with mine. I get where you're coming from, especially with like the Tony Stark emote, but I tend to just Jeff Sippy Cup when this happens. Turn one snap, I'll watch, I'll let it play out. If I snap back, maybe I'll like Jeff Sippy Cup and then do like symbiote Spider-Man fist pump into snap back. But usually I'll just Sippy Cup and just see what happens. Zen, do you do any emoting when the opponent snaps turn one?
What do you think? What do you think happens when the opponent snaps turn one against me?
Well, you certainly snap back, but I'm curious regarding the emote game. What's going on over there?
It's a very specific emote metagame on turn one. You obviously always fist bump because you know, like you're going at it, like you're entering this duel, right? It's like who's snapping back, who's really doing the thing. I'm doing the thing, like I'm gonna win the game, kind of thing. So you gotta establish dominance. But then there's the alternative where if it's someone you know, you snap back and then you hit them with Deadpool wait flag emote and you're just going at it. Like you're just, I'm trolling this game.
Yeah, I can agree with Xenaid here. It's a fist bump if I'm not like buddies with them. And then I played Xenaid earlier today, and we both waved that white flag. I believe it was snap, wave it. There we go. Sometimes if say my opponent is someone toxic, I can't really put a name to who a toxic player would be, but occasionally you can do the Deadpool, the one where you can do the Deadpool with the mouth where he has his finger to his mouth. That one's pretty good, I think, as well. But yeah, I think this is a pretty wholesome scenario.
Of course, that is the oopsie daisy emote. We can move on to the next how would you emote section. You win a game with a tech card. This is something like a Stardust, a Mobius, a Killmonger, a Shang-Chi. One of these cards that feels really bad to lose to, like an Eliath or a Cosmic Ghost Rider. You win with this. How are you emoting? I'm curious. Smlz, what do you think?
I went with tech. Normally, I wouldn't emote in this situation, but if I had to, I'd probably something akin to maybe a marrow time emo, maybe a leader big brain if it's against, again, I can't really put a name to it, but someone that's quite toxic. There's a lot of different scenarios for this one, I think, actually.
Yeah, I think naughty emoting is definitely a valid solution. Personally, I'm just a fist bump guy. I fist bump in this situation. I fist bump in almost every situation, win or loss. This is the end of the game, so I'll just hit a fist bump.
Now, I actually agree with Smiles here a bit. I think it is a perfect time, especially if you're going to be facing them again, to have some Ultron thinking, some very I'm calculated all of this plays, especially if it's not a great tech play. It's going to enrage your opponent. They're not going to play well the next time you beat them because they are treating your usage of tech as if it's the smartest thing you think you've ever done.
That's interesting. Can you go a little bit into more detail about this concept of your opponent playing worse next time you play them and the implications?
Definitely. So, whenever you play against someone, all of the past times you played them subconsciously go back into their head. And the best things that stick are very exaggerated expressions, emotes. It's the perfect combination. So you put an Ultron calculating down one game. The next game, they are going to remember that in the back of their head, relating it to a stupid tech play, and think you're going to play worse. They think they know you better than they do, and that is exactly where you want them.
Interesting. All right, Zen, I'm curious for you also. Do you have a specific emote for Negasonic or Juggernaut carrying you?
I feel like with Juggernaut, it's just this Jeff sippy cup. It's just like, especially when like Juggernaut is everywhere and like you should expect it turn 6. It's just like, yep, I went with Juggernaut. Like, big shocker. Um, or even just the Deadpool, the one where it's like, wait, what's this one called? The Deadpool ouch one. That one's pretty good for when you win with tech. Uh, but sometimes like you want your opponent to like let their guard down, like Folian was talking about. So you give them the domino dice roll when you win with the tech. Be like, ah, shit, I got lucky. Like, you'll win next time, kind of thing. And trust me, your opponent will remember. And then you just play around them remembering next time.
I do like the implication that, oh dang, you beat my negative deck with I beat your negative deck with Mobius. I got so lucky, almost implying that that isn't just going to cause the opponent to immediately leave the next game. But we can move to the next section. We've got opponent boomer snap. So what do you do if the opponent snaps turn 6? Are you if you snap back, does it change anything? I can lead here. I would say generally I like going with like a shocked expression emote. And if I don't like even the Heimdall emote, like why are we snapping? Are you winning? Are you losing? If they're winning, I'll just fist bump and retreat. Or sometimes I'll cope stay and then get tilted. And if I mean, if they're losing, I'd Drax question mark, right? That seems like the go-to. Thoughts?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jack's question mark's a really good one. I think if your opponent's like, "What are you doing?" But most of the time, when I see that, I'm like, I say that to myself. I'm like, "What were you thinking, staying or snapping in that game?" I really like the idea of the Drax question mark here. But for one of my opponent, a lot of times in 50-50s, your opponent kind of like you know what they're gonna do, like exactly what they're snapping on. And a lot of times, for me at least, if I stay, it's largely based on something like a 50-50. So then I just domino dice roll and then I beat them for 8.
I love how you put the you beat them for 8 part in there, because me, I'm losing 8. Unfortunately, as opposed to the turn 1 snap, at this point of the game, my snap is deactivated, so I can't ever snap back, which kind of sucks. Um, but this is like my favorite emote has to be just Deadpool white flag into lose 8. It's a perfect play line when my opponent boomer snaps.
Nick
It's pretty
Folian, do you want to
good.
touch on? Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think Drax question mark is pretty good to sort of shame your opponent. I think Galactus OK serves that purpose very well. If you're staying or if you're leaving, both work with slightly different meanings. I also quite like the morph deflate or the Deadpool ouch, kind of to show it was a bad snap. But aside from that, I pretty much agree.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too. I find when the opponent boomer snaps, a lot of the time they'll be using emotes. Nick Folian, can you be honest with me? Do you
Yeah,
think bad players are hiding behind these emotes?
I think good players are hiding behind the mute button. I'm not gonna lie.
The mute button, you say?
Yeah, snapping and emoting, I would rank in similar measures of skill usage. They are it's like, do you think new players are hiding behind snapping? Like, what are you talking about there?
Well, I don't mean new players, just
Or
bad players,
just
because
bad
not all new
players? Just
players are
bad
bad.
players. Right,
Well, I
right.
just feel like that it almost when you press an emote, it almost nullifies the victory a little bit. It's like even if you lose, it's like I lost, but I got to hit you with the thumbs up emote, so I didn't really lose. Like, do you feel like that there's a little bit of playing into it with that?
There's definitely a bit of ego with bad players because so much of emoting, not all of it, but so much is how it affects the next time you play that person. And if you're a bad player, you're very unlikely to face the same people again because you just have a larger pool of opponents. So it's more for ego. It definitely saves some of their hide, but I don't think they're sort of hiding behind it.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense actually. I don't think hiding is the right word. More so maybe abusing. But either way, we can move on. The next one is when RNG screws you over, how would you emote? I'd like to go last on this one because I think I do this the most. Uh, Zen, do you want to lead with RNG?
RNG never screws me over, you know. Like I'm just that guy.
What
Yeah,
happens when Jug pushes to the wrong lane, though?
should have played around it. I don't get screwed over by RNG. It's usually a skill issue on my part. Like if Jug hits him in the wrong lane, unlucky. If Infinite Galactus, should have predicted it. You know, like I feel like this one's on the player, so it's just a fist bump from me.
All right,
I
Nick
think
Folian?
I think if RNG screws you over, you still want to get in your opponent's head. I would start spamming the ever loving life out of like Domino, the rolling dice emote, maybe
Right.
the Moon Knight one. You really want to make it seem like they're just winning by luck.
Fascinating. Smith?
I can't believe it, Nick Foley. I'm gonna have to agree with you here. I
Oh,
really think that the what's it called? The dice is by far the best one. And you know what? I'll tell you why. The dice is so good because it signals both I won, haha, and I got screwed. Because it's like, oh, it was up to a roll of the dice. Like I got screwed, and then it also kind of gets in, aha, I hit the 1 and 6. So when RNG screws me over, or if I get screwed over by RNG, or if I'm screwing someone over with RNG, I think Domino Dice is the perfect emote. It's always RNG.
Interesting. I can definitely see where both of you are coming from. I don't know about Zen. Zen, I think you do lose to RNG sometimes. I feel like I've played you a couple times, but that's fine. I think I have experienced this the most as the person who plays exclusively Hella pretty much. And I found a way to cope with it. So what I end up doing, and this is probably the biggest example of emotes actually impacting my gameplay, I've been weaponizing the reaction wheel to implement like almost a conversation with the opponent, telling them what I think is going to happen or need to happen. And then I will either follow it up with a fist bump if I lose or a symbiote Spider Man pump if I win. People tend to remember the losses significantly more than the wins,
Hmm.
and so it almost builds like an aura of a I'm aura farming, where people don't remember. Oh, the gambit missed 2 and 3 times. It's oh, it hits every time, and I find that being able to show the opponent what you think is going to happen, and then having it actually happen almost reinforces the fact that if you are in a situation where you need something to happen, you can sometimes get the opponent to leave because you tell them what's going to happen before it happens. And they remember last time you did that, it actually happened. And so it's completely illogical by the opponent. But I mean, I if the opponent hit 3 gambits in a row and I don't remember any of the times it missed, and they tell me they're going to hit it again, I'm leaving. They're going to win the game.
That's a
I
very good point.
I found a flaw in your strategy.
what is your flaw?
What if your opponent just never leaves?
Oh, that is a good point. I do have a terrible match into Xenaid. Xenaid tends to call me out a lot, but that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, but
We
and also because I never lose in RNG, you know? So like
there is that as well. I don't know if I've ever actually beaten Xenaid. I can't remember except a couple. Anyways, uh, the final one we'd like to talk about for how you'd like to emote is the opponent taking forever. I'm going to give the obligatory Miss Minutes reference. I think Miss Minutes is a very, very good emote, and I'm so happy we have it. The thing I'm most curious about is how long before you start Miss Minute spamming? Nick Folian?
I would not wait too long. The more time you give your opponent to make a play, the more likely it is to be a good play. So you really want to start on the BM as early as possible. You can also think of using the Iron Lad emote if you have that, the one where they are thinking. Make sure to spam that. Just using it once will not have the desired effect. Obviously, Miss Minutes is the goat here, but it is imperative that you get it going as fast as possible.
And to be clear, are you taking forever in retaliation as well, Nick Folian? Or are you ending your turn?
Sometimes it really depends on how busy I am, how sort of tilted I am by previous games, if I'm going to be taking a while. It definitely has a good effect, but it also takes time, and sometimes I don't want to take that time.
Interesting. Is that it?
when we're looking at the opponent taking forever. So
Yes.
if I'm playing Marvel Snap on my phone, usually my emote menu is closed because I have like YouTube videos playing. Like I think them adding like the little pop out window really hurt my Marvel Snap gameplay since there's usually like random YouTube videos covering half of my opponent's board. It's real tough, especially when I don't care. Sometimes I don't even look at their board while I'm playing the game, and
Jesus.
therefore is really I never hit the miss minutes emote. I'm just watching a YouTube video and letting time pass.
Yeah, I personally with the Miss Minutes emote think it's about appropriate. Normally, before we got one of the bugs in the game, I think it was appropriate for in and about like a minute or so. Like for example, you're playing a move player and they're taking 20 years to decide how to move their torch so that the torch can go from 1 billion to 1 trillion power. So what I landed on though is because of this new end turn bug where the game will not let you end the turn, which you should. It's my least favorite bug in the game because it makes my games go like 5 times longer because I end turns relatively quickly on average. So since that came up, I think it's actually an unethical emote miss minutes. I think when it released, it was a great emote, but because of the shortcomings of the game, it's become unethical.
I would say the end turn bug is a great point in the opposite direction. If your opponent has the end turn bug and you're spamming miss minutes at them, next time you play against them, they're going to be so raged. It is going to be so easy to beat them.
Yeah, Nick Follian, you seem to rely a lot on these emotes. I'm curious, if emotes disappeared tomorrow, what would people actually remember you for?
I mean, they remember me for holding down the
Being
Bastion.
a bad Cerebro player.
A good Cerebro, a top two.
A bad Cerebro player.
Holding down the Bastion of one of the most important mechanics in Snap that no one else really gives the time of day. That's what they'll remember.
Can we pull up the Nick Follian rank chart real quick? Yeah,
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that pulled up.
I can add it in the post editing. We're gonna add it right up. We're gonna add that right up there. Nick Follian, what was that big drop right there? I mean, it coincided with the Cerebro 2 nerfs to Mercury and Shadow King. So I'm wondering your thoughts on what happened there.
The big drop. Are you misinterpreting my axes?
No,
this is not an overtime.
I don't think I'm misinterpreting my axes here. It says it's a pretty big drop, dude. It really nosedives right there.
Are you talking for bro, brag, believe, bro?
No. I'm talking about rank, dude.
Oh, rank.
It was a pretty big drop off after Cerebro got nerfed.
Are you? Yeah. Are we? We're looking at different things, aren't we?
I don't think we are.
I'm looking at the 5 Bs of emotes.
No, so if you're not looking at that, I'm looking at historical season finishes right now.
Okay, well, let's not look at that.
I feel like we don't need to call it. He's a guest. He's a guest Smlz.
Well, yeah, but he just Miss Marvel to me on ladder, and I'm mad.
You guys are playing. Oh, whatever. We'll move on. We're gonna move on. What do these even mean? I don't know what half of these mean.
I know this one.
What does this mean, Smlz?
So this one is when you recognize somebody who's undercover on ladder. So for example, if you were to queue up against, say, -1 trick, and they're playing Hella, and they have a really bad Corvus split of Ink with Gold Crackle, you know they're Denish. So you hit them with this emote, and then they know.
And just to clarify, because some people are audio only, this is the Mobius conspiracy theorist emote. Do you have any other applications for this, Nick Follian?
I mean, I don't exactly hate that one, but for general use where you're not facing that, I would say, very niche issue, this is, I would say, one of the lesser believe type emotes. This is one that is sort of gambling. You are trying to make a crazy play, and you are hoping it works out.
Yeah, this is the emote I use when the Gambit hits the Sam Shield, and that is about it. It hits it every single time, and so it gets a lot of use, but other than that, that's about it. I can't really... I guess when... I don't even know what thing First Steps hits that's bad. Does it hit, like, squirrels? I don't even know. It's just better Gambit, to be honest. But, yeah, that's my application of the Mobius. Xenaid, do you ever use this emote? What does it mean to you?
I don't think I own this one. This is like low-key my first time seeing it. I don't think anyone uses this emote. So what does this mean to you? I'm trying to figure that out as we speak. No clue for me.
It is definitely underused for sure, but we can move on to the next one. We've got the Devil Dino with his tongue out. This is a rock and roll emote to me. I'm gonna be honest. This is kind of just like we chill. It's the definition of a Nick Follian bro emote, I would say.
I would agree. This is for sure, bro. It's very chill. You send this when you're acting like, whether it's true or not, that you just want to have a normal game without any crazy plays.
I
Smz, do you
think
have anything?
I
for
own
the...
this one, and I think it's kind of just. I think it's the same as that Symbio Spider-Man fist pump. It's just like a breath of the. It's just like a gust of wind. It's just like nothing's going on. When my opponent sends this, I kind of think there's nothing going on up there, so I snap them.
dude, Smith is so nonchalant. Like he's just like,
Well, I got some opinions on some emotes, but we'll get to those.
bro. I'm pretty sure Iris uses this one to like I get hit by this one whenever she juggernauts me.
Dude, every game I play against Iris is fist bump, I snap turn one, she leaves, go next.
Same!
Every time I play against Iris, it's fist bump, snap, white flag, lose 8 to juggernaut. Oh man. We're getting really different play experiences here.
You are actually bringing up a great point with Iris that emotes without too much of a use can gain a use directly tied to that person. Making an emote your brand is a pretty powerful thing.
What would be your brand
Yeah, what's
currently,
your brand?
Nick Folian?
I mean, it would be the Miss Marvel because I'm the only one who uses it correctly. And tying that to me is going to make it much better, more effective.
Interesting. I do think being tied to the Miss Marvel is what got you on the podcast, so that
See?
definitely has some merit to it. I also think it's interesting. Both Xenaid and Smlz have related some emotes to breathing. Do you think this is just a gap in their skill, or what is this?
I would say it might be a gap in their skill, but that might be both a blessing and a curse. Not being able to pick up on the nuances of emotes will make it harder to get exact reads on opponents, but it's also going to make it way easier to avoid them having some sort of strong effect on you.
Interesting.
I'm gonna be
Interesting,
honest. I
interesting.
think I'm becoming an emote one trick.
You're a snapping one trick, Zen.
My snap
completely
pattern's the
different.
same every game. Oh no. But the one thing that no one can predict is whether I win 8 or lose 8.
Yep.
I feel like I can predict that reasonably well by looking at the board.
Yeah, I feel like I can usually I can use my sleuthing skills. We can move
We're
on.
Mobiusing me.
Yeah, I can use my Mobius abilities. We've got the goose emote, not the good one, the cheap one, the one that you buy in the store. This is the Goose Flerken emote. I don't know if it has an official name. I'm sure Nick Folian does. He's an expert.
It's goose crazy. And I would say all of the shop emotes, like just the standard ones you can buy, are incredible, except for this awful one. This is the only emote that I would say is literally just a breath of air. Very meaningless. You might be able to put it in bruh tier, like some sort of hog-esque reaction to whatever play you or your opponent's making, but the tentacles cover up way too much of the expression.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with Nick Folian. I don't usually consider them breathing emotes, but this is the most breathing emote ever, except for maybe one of the thumbs ups that is actually just like a fist bump, like the Thor emote, not the Thor, but something similar.
Right.
This is so nothing. Zen and Smlz, do you see anything in this emote?
No. This is just kind of disgusting, I'm not gonna lie.
But like, I feel like there's a unique interaction with this emote where if both of you decide to use it, then you're just like,
You both collectively like lost some intelligence in that exchange, I feel.
I feel like
It kind of looks.
it's
Hey,
a non
it kind of looks like a
intelligible
knockoff.
exchange of
It kind of
blah,
looks
blah,
like a
blah, 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 blah,
knockoff.
blah. You're like, you know, like you go blah, 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 and then your opponent goes blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, no, it looks like a knockoff of the cat who is balling. It's like the cat who is puking.
Yeah. Like, this is a perfect card to make your brand because no one else is going to want to use it.
Although I'll be honest, even Heart of the Cards didn't pick up on this one, so I don't know if you really want to make this your brand. I don't think this is it. We'll move on to greener pastures. We've got the Fenris Wolf with the cup.
This means I misplayed.
This is the misplay emote.
Yeah, I make
from
I make a
Circus.
misplay and I lose 4 and I look stupid and I hit this emote. This is one of my most used ones sometimes when I'm tired.
Really?
Yeah, this is the
I don't think
misplay.
this conveys the message you're trying to, though.
I mean,
Well,
so
then that's their fault.
what this emote is trying to be, what the like artist's intention was like, bro, I'm cooking, I'm making some crazy play, but there's no energy at all. So I kind of agree with Smlz. Though I think this could also be used if your opponent's combo or play flops.
See, I have one specific deck that I would use this emote in, and it's Sauron Patriot. Like, ongoing Sauron. I would just play Sauron followed by Goliath, and then hit them with the wolf emote.
I do like it as a cooking emote, but to be honest, I have a visceral negative reaction to this one just because of the character. This emote
What?
released peak Fenris Wolf when it was basically unstoppable because and I was playing Hela, and so I would get hit by a Fenris Wolf and then this, and then it's like, okay, I see what you did there. It's because of the character. I don't know. I am not a fan of the Fenris Wolf emote. Toxic, not good.
The only thing saving this is it's tied to a really cool card.
It's a piece of shit card.
All right, one trick.
All right. We've got Carnage busting through the wall. I do not own this emote, so I'm going to yield the floor to someone else. What do you guys think about Carnage?
I also don't own this emote, but all I gotta say is that this is like the whale emote. Like this is the super whale one where you're like, I spent a lot of money and here I am. Because it's an album emote, but it's also an album nobody completed.
That is true. I don't see a lot of people with that.
I don't see this. I actually just got it this week. But I think the perfect use of this, and this does have a beautifully defined use case, is when you are running a card no one in their right mind would ever think you're running. You play that, it reveals, you hit that emote, they don't know what any of your deck is anymore. They think you could just have anything, even though you just have that one weird card.
And sorry, I just need to highlight one thing. Did you target the emote on purpose? Is that a thing that happened?
I had the idea like a month ago and I wanted to go for it. And yes, I finally got it. I've not used it yet. I've been trying to think of a deck that could perfectly use this emote.
All right. Zen, do you have anything for this one?
Bro, this one's ugly as fuck. Like, if someone uses it against me, I'm muting them. Like, get this thing off my screen.
I can't disagree. I don't think it is necessarily well drawn. I like the reference they're going for with like the Shining, the Here's Johnny. I think that's cute. But yeah, I nobody owns it, nobody uses it. I'm excited to see what you can do with it though, Nick Folion, for sure.
Thank you.
We can move on now. We have synergies. These are emotes that go better together. When you combine them, they have an entirely different meaning. This first one is pointing and laughing. You are not only just pointing, you are now also laughing at them because they are crying. This is the Spider-Man point, followed by the Venom cry. The Venom cry, to be honest, is also kind of a whale emote. So this isn't necessarily something everyone can do. At least
this is the laughing at you because you're poor and you don't have this whale emote. I think this is best used as because this is obviously a BM. Or I think this clearly goes in Nick Folion's bitch category. And I think this is used to shame primarily low CL players, saying like, you don't have this emote and I do.
So in this season, would you use it for when you get to play Shao Lao on turn 6, but your opponent doesn't?
Oh yeah, I think there's a better emote for that scenario. I actually think the point into the Iceman is a lot more widely applicable. For the main reason that you can tell your opponent that they're scared and they actually leave a lot of the time. It's great.
That's fair. I think this is one of the most interesting synergies because Spider-Man pointing definitively goes into the bro category. It is very kind, even in like high level play. This is used and isn't hated too much. But then you combine it with a variety of emotes. The Venom one is definitely whale and has a few extra effects. But even you could go, like Denish was saying, it's pretty expensive. You could go Deadpool ouch and just say, hey, you're an idiot. Look at you. There are so many sort of diminutive, silly looking emotes that you can just push onto your opponent. You can even hit him with like a Professor X thinking, like, bro, you're thinking so hard. Then hit him with Deadpool ouch. It's unrecoverable.
I do think it's interesting how the building blocks can go together. Spider-Man Point is a very versatile emote for sure, and I'm sure the audience very much appreciates you giving the budget cuts for the Venom pay-to-win emote.
Of course.
For sure. Speaking of pay-to-win, do you find emotes pay-to-win, Nick Folian? Because they have such an impact on gameplay, but they're so expensive.
I would say 100% some emotes are pay to win. I would rather get like an Ultron calculating than a series 4, maybe even 5 card.
You should interesting. You should create almost like a spending guide, because I feel like this is just so different from the way that normal people spend their golden tokens.
Yeah, people don't spend them efficiently. Obviously, 90% of the time when you get a random card, it's some shit that you'll never use ever. And meanwhile, you get the emote you want, and you're able to use it in a way that will net you over the course of many games, no matter what deck you use, a lot of cubes.
Interesting. For sure, for sure. I also kind of agree, but I don't think it has enough of an impact on the average player's games for it to be like a massive deal.
It
Either
depends
way,
on
though,
skill level, yeah.
yeah, for sure. We can move on to the next synergy we have. This is Miss Marvel, followed by Miss Marvel,
Oh,
followed by
this
Miss
is the
Marvel.
classic.
This one's fine. This one is something you use if, first of all, you've already conditioned your opponent, or you want to condition your opponent. If you've already conditioned them, start spamming that the second you get something going. They're going to make terrible plays, or they're just going to retreat and you get free cubes. Or if you haven't already set them up for this, you beat them, especially if you casserole them, like beat them by a wide margin, start spamming this. They are going to perform worse next time you face them, 100%.
I have a few questions about this. Is there almost like a meta? Because I feel like you'll get muted. People really hate this.
You do get muted, and that sucks. I'm not a fan of the mute button exactly, but you only need to do it once. If you can do it again, that's even better. I'd love it if you could tell if you were muted. But just hitting them with this once and then facing them again, they're going to play worse. If it's twice, that's just a benefit.
Absolutely. And I'm also curious, obviously, are you finding this toxic?
I'm thinking other people will find it toxic. Again, this is a thing that I have a different opinion than most people. It's definitely a call you out play, and you are reminding them that you're calling them out.
Yeah, I just find it so fascinating because it is different than other people think. I'm just curious, is there like a limit? Like how long do you go for after the game ends?
After the game ends, again, like I was talking, it depends on how impatient I am that day, that round, etc. I give it at least 10. 10 is my minimum. Up? Yeah.
At least 10. All right.
Well, you can thumbs up very fast. That's a couple seconds.
That is true. Is there just to be clear, you're spamming them. You're not timing them?
Yeah.
That does matter.
You're spamming them. I think spamming them is much better. Whenever you time out or like have it rhythmically every like couple seconds, that's BM. I don't even care what emote you're using. If you spam it, that has a different effect.
Right. That's very insightful. I'm curious, Smlz and Zen, do you have anything to say about spamming Miss Marvels? Do you agree with Nick Folian?
Miss Marvel thumbs up.
True.
Miss Marvel thumbs up again. No, this is a toxic emote. It's terrible and I hate it.
But would you ever do it?
No, I don't think I would.
It's too far.
Losing cubes.
Zen,
See-
would you ever would you ever spam Miss Marvels?
I would never do it, but I also think doing the Miss Marvel emote is a misplay because, like I said, I have a no pump list, and once you're on the no pump list, you don't get free 8 cubes.
Oh, so you're saying is Nick Folian? I know that you guys have made up recently. Is Nick Folian on or off the no pump
Oh
list
no, Nick
currently?
Folian is on the pump list. We
Yeah.
pump Nick Folian.
We worked this out.
I don't
We
even
get
get
each
this
other.
emote anymore from you, right? Like ever
Yeah.
since Deadpool Diner, like Deadpool Diner is where we made up. Like we pumped each other so much on Deadpool Diner that like we're
Yeah.
homies now.
We're on better terms. I guess I should say all of my rules apply explicitly not to Xenaid. He functions differently with emotes than the average player.
Is there anyone else on that list? Maybe like streamers or content creators?
Yeah, there are a few streamers. I still emote KM. But
He does have you muted.
oh my god, yeah. He has everyone muted. That's why I do it. It's just like muscle
has us
exercise at
muted.
that point. A few streamers are like, I'm not gonna emote too much. I'll still hit him with a couple bros. I like to hit the Sinister Squad. Aside from that, not really. No, the rest of the people are fair game.
All right. We can move on now. We have this is almost like an aura farm emote. I don't think any of us are European. Actually, I know we aren't. This came from a European friend. Apparently, it's a big deal over there. I think it's interesting. It's like a counter meta. It's like a completely different meta over there. They might still be playing Move for all we know. What's your first impression here? Because I don't think any of us have seen this before.
Yeah. This is very self-focused, which a lot of American ones are focusing on the other player. I guess the Jeff Sippy Cup one is more focusing on how you're just kind of chilling. But yeah, this combo sort of screams like, come at me, I'm wrong, you can't do anything, which I don't think I would ever see in US NA lobbies.
So a bit of a question here. I feel like this is kind of like pointless, and it's kind of too bizarre emotes, and I don't know about any large controversies regarding regarding really coordination in matches on the European server. But if there was one, I think this could be a code for it.
I do wonder if it's a code for. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't think we can talk about that on air though. We might get shot. Zen, you got anything else for the European combo?
I feel like I need my own European combo on NA ladder. I've run by this conspiracy theory that the highest player on NA ladder is just the one that queues into me the most, and I'm trying to test that theory this season.
So you're saying you're planning on developing your own conspiracy here?
All
What
I'm
emotes would
saying
you
is,
choose?
you know how Miss Marvel would lose cubes against me? A few
Yeah.
Deadpool white flags might go a long way for your social credit, one might say.
That is a banger emote. That's a great one to choose piece for. We can move on. This is my combo. Personally, I threw this in the slideshow. It is the Symbiote Spider-Man followed by the fist bump. I think that this is wholesome. I don't see how anyone can find this toxic ever. It works when you win. It works when you lose. As long as you do it every time, I don't see how it's toxic. I don't. I'm sorry. Prove me wrong.
Anyone specifically in mind you have while you're saying that one?
Yes, but unfortunately they couldn't make it today, so I will have to settle for Smlz, Nick Folian, and Xenaid.
Okay. Well, to be honest, this is sort of a nothing emote. I disagree with both of these emotes in existence. But when combined, they almost say less. Like the fist bump is definitely at higher levels of play, just kind of rude. And this is a goofy bro type, but not the goofiest, which makes it worse than just a regular bro type. So
Right.
it's just sort of like a bad feeling, but you feel like your opponent isn't even trying to make you feel bad, so that you're not gaining anything.
Right. I just wonder because like the fist bump is often used as punctuation almost, where you throw it at the end of an emote and it's either making it less toxic or significantly more. I'm curious, Nick Folian, with your 5 Bs, does throwing the fist bump at the end of them do anything to the graph?
It's honestly okay. So you say it's a punctuation. I kind of agree. It's like a thought terminator. It's saying, haha, just kidding, we're cool, with like this snide look on your face. For me, at least, I don't know how other people view this. I'd assume it's the same. A fist bump at the end pushes you way down on respect.
Down.
Down. Definitely down.
Is there a particular reason for that? Because I'm the exact opposite. I fist bump end of game every time.
Well, a fist bump end of game, that's something. I'm saying fist bump in a synergy combo.
Oh.
Yeah, if we're doing that, then that's just saying, like, I'm trying to make this emote, haha, just kidding, we're cool though, which is so non committal. It's definitely going to garner less respect from me. I would assume anyone who thinks about emotes a fair amount is going to agree.
I kind of think that's valid. I do kind of agree with you. I think specifically for the symbiote Spider-Man, you're not really trying to be toxic with it. At least that's my opinion. And so the fist bump doesn't bring it down. It more so just like amplifies it. It's like not only did I bro, but I super broed.
Yeah,
That's how I see it.
It's like 0 times 3 though. We're not getting too much from the symbiote.
Yeah, but I see this once again. The symbiote is for me.
Yeah,
It's
it's for
very
you.
similar to a lot of other emotes.
There are a few emotes I do just for me. I get you having one. It's all you're almost like trying to cultivate a brand, maybe.
I not intentionally, of course, but yeah, you could say that. What emotes do you have just for fun, Nick Folian?
Emotes I do just for fun. I love the Sinister Squad. I kind of, if I'm trying to be nice, just genuine, I really like the Gambit Heart one. That one I've never really seen as too negative. You can like starry eyes an emo and hit it with that, and that's just a kind interaction. Aside from that, I like Cosmo. The sunglasses are very nice.
Right. All right, Smlz and Zen, do you have anything else to add for the pump into bump? The pump and bump?
I think this is just you, dude.
Actually,
It's awesome.
I respect Pump and Bump a lot. Because I don't know if you remember, but I was once on a negative pumping arc where I would let the negative, or what was it? I would let the negative player do it just so, we would keep negative players around.
Thank you, dude, by the way.
Yeah, because negative players are losing. Like, they're like, if someone's staying against negative, there's a way to beat them, Like, negative players are in shambles. So someone's got to do the good and honest work of keeping them on ladder. And that's me. And so, like, when they get their combo off and they do that, I'm like, you fell into my trap. Because all the good players are going to keep farming you. So it's like, like, also with Galactus, other cards like that. Yeah, I'm like, you want to let people have fun playing the game. And I think this is a perfect way to show that you've done your good job.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. It's I find it wholesome. I get if you find it as nothing, but at least it isn't toxic.
Galactus players use this combo, actually.
Yeah, well, I do see some Galactus players use it, and I'm kind of like, so that's just a fist bump.
Once again, Smlz, for the record, does not see the pump emote as an emote. He sees it as air, so it is just a fist bump. That makes sense. We can move on. We've got the Rocket Raccoon
The
into
enemy
Storm
one's
synergy.
classic right here. He loves that Rocket Raccoon. It's perfect. Something goes bad for him. You snap. Rocket comes out, and as soon as you see that rocket out, you are already celebrating because you just know that's going to be a retreat.
Yeah, it's a very expressive emote for sure.
Underrated. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think the rocket's very If we're talking about underrated emotes, I think Rocket's got to be like top 3. It's a phenomenal
Yeah.
emote. I'm disappointed I don't have it, but I'd use it a lot if I could. If I could.
Yeah. I find this is a, for me at least, this is a response to the meta. This isn't just something happening in one game. This is, oh, cool, for the 12th time in a row, I'm facing Xiao Lao. This is saying, God damn it, please stop. Like Storm on her own, that's a per match system. That's saying, like, I'm countering exactly what's happening right now. But with this combo, it's just so tired, and I really like it.
Yeah, I'm immediately violent towards this combo because I kind of hate the rocket emote. I get it. I think it's funny. It's cool. It's fine. But I get tilted. I get tilted by this emote. I don't know
Mhm.
why it happens.
I'll
But
keep that in
you're
mind.
absolutely right. Storm alone feels like okay, you'll keep it in mind. Storm alone feels like a personal attack, whereas together it does almost not. It feels like it's not your fault that you're incredibly obnoxious in playing the meta deck. It's just everyone's fault. And I can see where you're coming from with that one, Nick Foley, and that's
Mhm.
very that's wise. What do you think, Zen?
Denish, might you feel the same way about this way about Rocket because you might say certain people disapprove of your playstyle? Uh,
I have no idea who you're talking about, but yeah, a lot
you
of
may
them use
you
the
may have
emote.
received a DM from one or two opponents.
I I may have gotten a couple dirty DMs from yeah, okay, maybe.
Yeah,
That might
there might be a good segment to do in the future where you take this Rocket emote and you show the DMs that like match the players that feel this way towards you. I think it'd be a great way to kind of air out your feelings about this Rocket emote. But
the leak DMs segment.
I don't think anyone's ever disapproved of what I've been saying, what I've been playing on ladder. So I don't think I've ever hit this combo. Me personally, like no one's gonna bat an eye at a Red Skull, Ebony Maw. You know?
No one's gonna bat an eye at a Red Skull on ladder. You say
Yeah. I mean,
Red Skull, right?
right? Like Red Skull's never hurt nobody.
Yeah,
Brave Wall
yeah,
doesn't compete
yeah.
against.
Totally, man.
It's okay though, because the people it's hurting, they're probably free to play. I mean, who plays that deck? Cerebro, right, Nick Folian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would ever play a genuinely good deck and instead play Xiao Lao the a millionth time?
All right, we can move on to this or that. These are very similar emotes, but not quite the same. I'd like to know the implications of this and like what you guys use when would you use one over the other? The first one is Spider-Man Point versus Mr. Sinister Point.
I don't use Mr. Sinister Point. Spider-Man Point
Really?
is clearly better. Mr. Sinister Point is over designed. The face he's making is kind of like it just looks like an off-brand Spider Point. Spider Point, it's a classic. It's probably one of the top 10 emotes in the game. Mr. Sinister is just it's kind of like the remastered version, but the remaster like bugged out and it's worse. So it's not really remastered as much as it is a money grab.
I disagree. They obviously have a similar pose, and the Spider-Man emote is better, but they're not parallels to one another. The Mr. Sinister one is serving an entirely different purpose in that it is sort of a point of disgust instead of recognition, admiration, calling out. I mean, the Spider-Man one does everything. Mr. Sinister is worse, but it's saying, God, what a disgusting play. How dare
Yeah.
you be a Cerebro 2 player, some might say.
Yeah, I do agree. I think the Mr. Sinister is a lot more aggressive. That's the main difference here. It feels like we've got duct tape, or Spider-Man's duct tape. Symbiote Mr. Sinister is also duct tape, but only over the mouth. That's how I see it. Zen, which point do you use?
I only use the Spider-Man point, but that's what's like the Mister Sinister. Like, there's some negative aura coming from that one. So like I don't give negative aura on ladder. You know what I mean? Like, so I would never use anything toxic.
Right, you wouldn't want to be toxic. I
Mm-hmm.
get that for sure. Nick Folian doesn't see you any differently for that reason. We can move on. We've got fist bumps. We have zombified fist bump. We have normal fist bump, and now we have a weapon X fist bump, or it looks like weapon H with weapon X. I can't quite tell what the fist on the left is. If someone wants to call it out,
I
I
believe
think
that
Weapon
is
X,
Weapon
yeah.
X. Yeah,
I think it is weapon X.
it's the weapon. It's the weapon bump.
I personally just use normal fist bump because I'm not a sellout. I don't know. I find people
I
who
think
use the other ones
I
weird.
think most of them are the same. I actually rate Zombie Fist Bump a little lower than the other two because the
Yeah.
Zombie Fist Bump
Oh.
looks more like a punch than an actual fist bump, and it's kind of like, oh, you bought the bad one. Like it kind of gets like it's like the supreme of fist bumps, whereas the Weapon X one is kind of like the quality, like you spent more but you're getting like a higher quality fist bump. The zombie one is like you spent all that for nothing. Like it's still Thing and Hulk. You're not even getting new characters, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I see the zombified one. It's valid in like 1 month of the year, and it's from the middle of October to the middle of November. Other than that, if you're using it, I don't know. You're trying too hard. That's how I see it. Nick Folian, which fist bump do you like?
I mean, I've already made it clear I don't like fist bump too much, but they've somehow made two worse variations. First of all, the zombie one, I agree with Smlz, like, and you yourself. What are they even doing here? It's just a worse version. It seems clunkier. Like, it doesn't actually seem like they're doing a fist bump. Barely looks like they're punching. It looks like the images are just overlaid together. Then you have the Weapon H, Weapon X one, which is I didn't even think I could say this. Another breath of air. It's a nothing emote. I feel nothing when I see it. Neither rage nor gladness, sadness, nothing.
Yeah, I guess if you're not a big fist bumper, I can see that. I once again, I even with the weapon X fist bump, I can see it being higher quality, but it's not a fist bump. You're like barely making contact. Actually, you're kind of not making contact. I don't I just wouldn't want claws if I had to fist bump someone, that's all. And I definitely
Yeah.
wouldn't pay for them. Zen, which fist bump do you use?
I'm a zombie fist bumper. It's like it's just a breath of fresh air from the regular fist bump. I think the claws one is only like when you're like ready to duel someone. So usually that one only comes up whenever you're like snapping to snap.
Like a rivalry.
Yeah, like it's just like a let's hash it out here, you know. But honestly, like
Yeah.
I don't know the difference between regular fist bump and zombie one. I like clicking the zombie one because it's like different. But sometimes, like when I'm not paying attention, I'll click the regular one, and it's just like. But low key, like if you're cooler, you'll always get the zombie one. I feel like if you get the regular fist bump, like I feel some type of way about you.
They're just
I
bragging.
Yeah, that might be the is that on the B chart? Is that one of the B's? Brag?
Kind of, but a different type of brag. That's a sort of brag about their economic stability.
All right, it doesn't quite count on the chart. We can move on to the thumbs up. I do not use this emote. Next.
Oh, yeah. Terrible, terrible Agatha.
The Agatha is the true BM emote. The Miss Marvel is like the light version, like it's like the basic, like okay, I've seen this a million times before. When you get Agatha, ooh, it's on. Like I'm trying to 8 cube you right then and there.
It's literally just an imitation of a better emote. It's like if they did an even worse job with the zombie fist bump. The Agatha one is infuriating because of how awful it is.
Yeah, it's just I think it's cute, and that is the extent of it. It's like, okay, Agatha does that in the show. I get it. It matches nice. Other than that, I mean, come on, why are we using Agatha fist bump? I mean, Agatha thumbs up. And yeah, Zen doesn't use thumbs up either, so we can move on to the next one. We've got a woo emote. I do not own either, so I'm gonna yield my stand.
Yeah, I do not use either, so I will yield mine as well.
Nick
Uh,
Folian, are you a close caller?
I do. Sometimes, especially if it's not actually that close a call, I'd say These two are most different. With the Scarlet Witch one is actually after it happens. You're using that one specifically to say, oh, thank God that missed. Meanwhile, if you're Red Guardian, that could be used before. That's like the turn just started, cards are revealing, and you know you've got like a 1 in 3 to actually hit. You're saying, hey, look ahead. There's some random chance happening. And that could really exemplify one of the pop off emotes.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that. I will never be able to get the Red Guardian one because it came from a season pass, unless they do like collector's vault for emotes, which I wouldn't hate. It's a cool emote, but
Mhm.
yeah, I like the Scarlet Witch one. I don't feel anything like toxic from it. I don't feel anything wholesome from it. It's just kind of a close call. I can see what you mean though, if it wasn't a close call, how it can be construed. Zen, do you ever use either of these?
No, because I feel like the Scarlet Witch one like shows insecurity that you were worried about something happening. It's like you want to like be nonchalant and be like, that was all calculated. You know, like you hit it with the fist bump, you hit it with the Ultron thinking. But I don't think I would ever Scarlet Witch or like I think I'm gamer. Honestly, I'm just like like Scarlet Witch, cool. Like there's a chill guy that uses that card. But I don't really think too much about these emotes.
That's valid. I do think linking it to the actual card could be interesting, especially if like specifically Red Guardian misses, then it's like, okay, the game's not over, but I'm not happy about it. But we can move on to what I believe is the last set of this or that emotes with the Leech what and the Drax what. I can lead with this one. I think that the Leech is like a what the hell? Like what the hell just happened? Whereas the Drax is almost more of like a what the hell? Like, what are you doing? That's how I see them. I think that it's very open for interpretation, but the number of question marks certainly directly contributes, in my head at least, to the amount of confusion. I feel like what when you use the leech emote, the opponent better have just like vipered, I don't know, Starbrand, and that was their play. And it's like, all right, I don't get it. Or like they basted it first. I don't even like I don't get where you're going. And then even if it's like you can kind of get it, that's fine. Whereas the Drax is like not even I don't even know, man. I I think that they're not interchangeable, but the Drax emote they're not interchangeable at all actually. That's my stance.
I disagree. I think they're barely interchangeable. I think Leech definitely has a more specific use case, and Drax has a more specific use case that they fit into better. But they can be used in different situations. I think you mentioned two good situations for Leech and Drax. I would say one more good thing for Leech is when a fast forward happens and your board state is entirely different. That shit. There was one time. It was like literally 3 months ago. Uh, Cersei played down by the opponent. Entirely different board, unrecognizable. At the same exact time, we both hit Leech. That was great.
That is a very good call out. Smz, do you have any other applications of these two
So
emotes?
you mentioned something where it's directly correlated to the amount of question marks in the emote, and I wholeheartedly agree. I think the Drax one is like what were you thinking? And the Leech one is like, I don't know what either of us are thinking right now. Like one of them is like some confusion on some part, and then the other one is just like, I don't know what's going on. Like if there was like a fast forward and my board is gone now, like that's a Leech moment. Like if I play Ramatut and my entire board is now completely wiped, but I have a 100 power card, I'm gonna be like Leech emote. But if it's like something like I don't know, like Black Bolt, my Black Bolt discards their Shula, I'll be like, what other card do you have in your hand? And that's a Drax emote situation.
Yeah, I do think that it's almost like yeah, I agree with you entirely. Zen, do you have anything to add for this one?
I feel like the leech use case is coming soon to theaters near you. there's a certain card that might play multiple on reveals that we might want to start leeching after it happens. I think like Yogg Saronning in a certain other card game. Um,
Like Aromatit was gonna give such a good use case. I agree.
hmm And then yeah, the Drax was just a BM emote. Honestly, it's like the hell you doing kind of thing.
Yeah. All right, we can move on to the next segment. So we've got a global mute section. The community has been raving recently. A lot of people do not like emotes actually, and they're almost asking for a global mute button. I'm curious what everyone's opinion is on the global mute. We'll start with Nick Foley and Dynamite.
Okay, this is the stupidest idea, and everyone's had it since the dawn of time for some reason because they want to take away a fundamental part of the game. Why can't we have a global your opponent can't snap button? Why can't we have a global they can't play card you don't like button? It's a part of the game and it is a huge amount of skill expression. Like, I am the emote guy. This is saying, like, hey, can we kill him? It's a fucking idiotic idea in every measure of the word. It's an idiotic idea to let you mute people at all, because then you're just taking away that part of the game. And it's even annoying for the people who wanted that, because you're still going to get emotes that slip in when you forget to mute them. So no one likes it. What's the point? And don't
Well,
fucking no, not well. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
oh, uh, okay, we appear to have lost Nick Foley and Dynamite. Um, hmm.
One less cerebro player is pretty good. That global mute really hit him hard.
Yeah, that's a real shame. We'll have to catch up with them after the podcast. We can move on. The location of the week. We chose Sokovia this week. Pretty basic. I figured it would be a little bit of an exhausting episode, to be honest.
I think this is very funny considering a lot of people do not actually like emotes in the game, and Sokovia is probably the location I see complained about the most. Like, why does
Yeah,
this
there's a lot of
exist?
Sokovia
Weapon X
complaining.
facility is just a much better version.
It is very basic. That's true. I think the biggest thing with Sokovia is snapping on the information. I'm curious specifically for Xenaid because I think you do this a lot. Before we get into like the Legion and the Quake and all that, when you see the opponent lose something, is it an instant snap or do you try to snap later to get more cubes? Or what's the deal with Sokovia regarding snapping? Optimal
You,
snapping, not just
I
snapping
think
every
you
game.
insta snap if it's like a state. It's just because I think most people are prone to like retreating too much. So like on most snaps, if it's like higher than a 50% chance of you winning the game, if you see any tech card, you always snap when Sokovia is discarded, um, because they're gonna feel insecure that they don't have their safety valve, and then you automatically win the game because they leave. And if not, they're worried that they need that tech card later on in the matchup. If they lose like a kitty or like a basic card, then like it's kind of a nothing burger. But honestly, I kind of just snap whenever I see this location. Like I was like, eh. Except for when the damn discard players are on the other side, and then they discard like the swarm, they discard like the scorn or whatever. That's when I rocket. That's when you really need that rocket emote or the storm one. Just like shun them for how lucky they got.
Yeah, I will touch a little bit on the ramp aspect with Legion. Obviously, with Hela, you just Legion it. That's obvious. But even when you don't have a Hela or a way to revive, I still think Legion is really, really good on Sokovia, especially when the other locations are not necessarily better to Legion. It's a good play because with a ramp deck, a lot of the time you have a lot of cards in your hand, and the cards that pull cards out of your hand are usually random. So you have like Infinity Ultra on Greenstone, Red Wing, even like an Eson potentially. You have the new Dragon Lord, I believe is the card's name, the 5/5. And so not only are you thinning your hand, so that you can get a more reliable final turn. You also are more likely to have more cards in your hand because you're playing more expensive cards and you're kind of skipping your first two turns. So what can happen is if your opponent discards three cards and they're not playing like a Merlin or a Cape Bishop, which is kind of rare nowadays, but it can still happen. You can end up with situations where your opponent has like one card in hand or two cards in hand. Or even like if you're against Destroy, they play a bunch of cards, they keep null the entire game. And so you can steal their null turn 5 and just discard it. And so I think Legion on Sokovia, even not in Hela, is incredibly underrated. I think that it can turn a lot of matchups very late, and it's worth snapping before you Legion it, potentially even as they discard their card, depending on what it is, of course, but not necessarily immediately, because sometimes you lose something important as well. So, I mean, it is important to weigh it, but usually I also snap Sokovia. Smz, do you have anything to add?
Not much. I think this is one of the best bully snap locations in the game. I love seeing a turn two Sokovia come down because a lot of times, like say Sokovia comes down, they have their Shaola discarded, and I have my Prowler discarded. Okay, it's a loss for me. I'm not happy. I like having Prowler. They lost the best card in their deck by far. I'm just gonna snap that. If they stay, they're at a gargantuan disadvantage, and I can expect some scammy tech. Maybe something like maybe a first location was Wakandan Embassy and it hit Maverick Scarlet Spider for them. Maybe they have something really good like that. But in general, I know that I'm going to be way further ahead than them in the match because they had such a valuable discard and I didn't. Another really interesting use case is like, say I'm playing Shu Lao and they're playing Shu Lao. They're playing the Maverick Scarlet Spider version. I'm playing the Prof Extra Mamu version, which is less reliant on Shu Lao. Obviously, Shu Lao is still the best card in that deck, but you can win without it. If both discard Shu Lao, I'm gonna snap this. My opponent might not know why I'm snapping it, but because I have that information that likely they're gonna be playing a deck that's more reliant on Shu Lao than my deck, I have that like information asymmetry and I can snap. And that also is extremely valuable because your opponent is just not gonna retreat in that scenario as well.
I think the
Very
other thing is
insightful.
measuring like how many resources your deck needs. I think is a really important thing to know when you're snapping on this location because like some decks like need every draw, right? Like if you're playing Sauron, if
Mm-hmm.
you're playing Ramp, like they don't have that much like card gen, especially if it's like the Kale version instead of the Valentina version. So like they're playing one card a turn and like they have less cards, right? If your V hand and Sokovia happens and like you're not losing your V hand, like you're usually going to be like more advantage because your deck just has more resources, right? So I think like one thing players don't do is like they don't click on their opponent icon and like look at their hand size. But like if your opponent's like a 1 to 2 hand size or 2 to 3 hand size the entire game, like let's say Sokovia's played and they have a surge, right? Like they're gonna run out of cards to play and it's gonna be very easy to read them as well.
That is a really valid and extra good point at the end there, where once they're playing one to two cards, it's a lot easier than having to read like 4 to 5 potential different plays, especially once you start accounting for Merlin spells. Because well, you can count the Merlin spells, obviously. So if you know they have two Merlin spells because you discarded the other cards and like one normal card, and then they draw another normal card with a Merlin spell, you know they have three Merlin spells. Realistically, they're going to go like a Polymorph and a Merlin +2, and that's very much easier to play around. And then you just play around like a stat stick. I think that that is incredible. Yeah, for sure. Smith, do you want to transition out?
All right. That's going to be it for us today. Thank you for watching. You can find Denish at twitch.tv/Denish_Hell. You can find me right here at youtube.com/at SnapAcademyYT. Make sure to enter in the season pass giveaway and join up the Discord for a tournament with another season pass giveaway. You can find Xenaid at twitch.tv/ZenaidTFT, and you can find Nick Folian at youtube.com/watch?V=D capital Q W4W9 capital W G capital XCQ. Discord is the top link in the description. Make sure to join it for the upcoming tournament, and we will see you all next time. Hopefully sooner than 3 weeks.